Welcome back to Exotic Car Playplace. Everybody, thanks for joining in again. Today, we are going to dive in to the world of the worst new automotive car trends. In my last video, a lot of you guys agreed with a lot of the selections that I made. However, there were some great new ones that you guys brought to light, as well as some that I just did not get to because the list would just be too large. So today we're going to summarize some of the worst new automotive trends that I didn't catch on the first video. Hope you enjoy it, guys. Let's get to it. Welcome back to the channel, everybody. Mark with Exotic Car Playplace. So number one on my list of some of the worst new automotive car trends goes to the oversized grilles. That's right, I want to put a shout out to AB on my last video who really commented, enormous front grilles. Some cars look outright ridiculous. Thanks, AB. But yes, I totally agree. Some of the new vehicles, if you look at them, are getting just out of hand. Let's start with the BMW. How about the new 7 Series BMW? Where BMW advertises that its new grille surface area is 40% larger than the outgoing model. Let's not forget the new X7. Talk about big, bold, and in your face. This goes back to the caveman era where the caveman had to puff out the chest, wave in the air just to keep the lions from attacking because it gives you a sense of looking more bold, bigger, and aggressive. Well, this whole principle is carrying through the automotive industry now. How about Audi's A8? With this massive grille that spreads across almost the entire front end of the car. Looks classy, it's consistent with the brand, but it has grown to massive proportions. How about the wonderful little Toyota Yaris? That thing looks like a big mouth coming at you. If you see that car from behind, you think this thing's gonna gobble you up. And then as he passes by, you see this little car with 32.5 horsepower and you realize, no, that's just a hoax. Some other ones are the new pickup trucks. For example, the GMC Sierra Heavy Duty. The grills are massive, taking up the entire front end. Have you ever popped the hood of some of these new trucks? You lift the whole hood up and the whole front end and grille comes up only to reveal a smaller, much smaller radiator and other parts. Honestly, it just covers a lot of space and air. And what would discussion of grills be without talking about Lexus? They are the largest embellishers of the oversized grills. How about the Lexus RX model? That's right, that's their sort of mid-size SUV. If you look at it, there was a real attempt to try to bring youth into the brand, and Lexus did that very much on purpose. However, they went a little overboard and it became a waterfall effect where all the models now have that massive splash of oversized grille all over the front to the point where it's just too much. Really, the LC500 is probably the only car that really does sort of suit that front grille. So the second worst new automotive car trend, and by the way, we can all agree to disagree if that's the case. However, I believe it's the LCD displays. That's right, the digital dash displays. It looks really great and vivid and sharp in darker lights. What you often have is a scenario where you get a lot of sunlight wash. So if you're driving in sunny conditions, or you don't have tinted windows, maybe your sunroof's open, maybe you have a convertible that has a digital display. Often you can't even see half of it because the sunlight washes it out. And you really are limited to what you can actually see or visibly get from the dashboard. Not only is that an issue, but a lot of geographical locations are very, very cold. And I can't help but wonder what these things are going to be like when you hit temperatures of minus 30, minus 40 degrees Celsius. I know there's an easy argument and said, well, just move further south and you won't have that problem, but it's not that simple. The reality is cold weather and electronics just don't mix. The third part to that is the fact that when they burn out, what does that cost look like? And I think that's most consumers are going to have that concern because it's not going to be a $250 part. I guarantee you. It's likely going to be $2,000, $3,000, $4,000, maybe more, depending on how exaggerated and how much technology is pumped into that particular display. Whether you drive a Benz or a Beamer or a Cadillac, doesn't matter. It's an expensive technology. When it fails, it's going to cost you an arm and a leg. So the next most disgusting new automotive trend, in my opinion, and I think most of you guys would agree, is the excess use of plastic in places that you should not have plastic. For example, BMW, Porsche, Audi, Mercedes, they're all known for excessive amounts of plastic in the engine compartment, particularly BMW. But again, that's not exclusive to the German brands. Every car manufacturer is using plastic in a much more extensive way these days. Now, while plastic is cheaper to manufacture, lower cost, easier to replace, quite honestly is easier to remanufacture and recycle, there are disadvantages. And the disadvantages surely are put plastic in a hot engine compartment. Now, especially couple that with modern technology of lots of turbocharging that you find in almost every single vehicle today, excess engine heat and plastic don't mix. Have you ever seen what happens when you put flame under a piece of plastic? It melts. That's right, BMWs, for example, utilizing plastic valve cover, plastic thermostats, plastic water pumps, plastic hoses for everything, plastic rads, plastic. And this is not limited exclusively to BMW. As I said, every manufacturer uses plastic to some degree or another, and quite frankly, that trend is disturbing, and what that's going to result in is owners of vehicles 5, 6, 7 years down the road footing the bill for expensive repairs because premature failures, where normally that wouldn't have happened 25 years ago. Now, another really negative automotive trend, in my opinion, is the self-driving car. That's right, the autonomous vehicle. Now, this technology allows vehicles to automatically adjust for vehicles and people in front, vehicles behind, keeps the vehicles between the lanes, can get you from A to B. Technically, you can go to sleep, turn the lights off, and wake up when you get home. Now, that's a very, very disturbing trend in my opinion, and Tesla has proven that some of this technology isn't totally worked out yet. Unfortunately, there have been numerous crashes, collisions, where the computers don't have everything dialed in just yet. And quite frankly, as a car guy like myself, what's wrong with grabbing a hold of the steering wheel, shifting gears, and put your pedal to the metal and actually have some fun along the way? So another one of those negative automotive trends is the use of fake performance badging, fake performance parts, all for the sake of trying to give the fake perception that you're driving a car more than what it actually is. BMW with the M badging on everything. That's right, maybe you didn't have the full kuyans to buy the M car, so they put an M badge on the lesser models and allow you to buy that and make you feel like you're driving something special. In reality, it's more of the garden variety car with this cheap sticker placard on it. Now, as well, Mercedes is starting to do that with the AMG. They slap AMG on everything, even if it's not the true AMG car. How about the C43? What about the C63? A little bit of a difference? Yes, I guess. But they'll use AMG on everything. Even Cadillac and the V. They use the V or the colors. A lot of these brands are starting to use some of their higher end coloring, branding, and badges just to sell lower end cars and to make it more appealing to the general population. This has to stop, guys. Now, unfortunately, another really negative automotive trend is the use of run flats. That's right, lots of different manufacturers were getting on board and in bed with manufacturers of Runflat Tires. Since then, because of the inefficiencies, the cost, the reduction in performance and fuel economy, a lot of manufacturers have actually looked at it and taken a second look and said, you know what, maybe that's not for us. Unfortunately, BMW has stayed on that wagon. So you can't find a spare tire in your trunk. You can't even find a jack or anything else for that matter because they slap 4 Runflat tires on your vehicle. So what does that do for you? Well, run flats make the car ride harder, louder, it's stiffer, it is heavier, so it increases rolling resistance and reduces fuel economy and reduces ultimate power to the wheels. Because of the extra weight and rolling resistance, it's a negative in virtually every single way, with the exception of the fact that you don't have to get out roadside and change your tire. But with that said, I have personally experienced a situation with a run flat that gave me a warning. I drove it, about 10 kilometers, and the thing exploded to the point where I literally had to call for a tow truck ride anyhow. So they say they're good for a maximum of 50 miles per hour for 50 miles. However, sometimes I would second guess that. Not only that, if you lose one tire and you're driving a rear-wheel drive vehicle, you have to change 2 tires. If you're driving a modern vehicle that's all-wheel drive, for example, some of the X-Drive BMWs or anything else that's all-wheel drive, and you lose one tire, generally speaking, unless the tires are virtually brand new, you're going to have to replace all 4 at a very expensive cost because run flats are usually almost twice as much money as a standard tire. So it's cost, performance. There's absolutely nothing to like about run flat tires. And lastly, one of the worst automotive trends goes to the overabundance of SUVs in the driver's marketplace. That's right, it's getting out of control, everybody. Sure, there are uses and there's needs and there's people that really do require that sort of versatility, but there's far more people that don't, that just get on the wagon because it is the local trend. Now, sure, SUVs came from a lot of places. I mean, you can look back at the Toyota 4Runners, how about even Nissan Pathfinders, Ford Explorers, Chevy Suburbans, and a whole lot. There was a lot of SUVs back in the day. But as markets have changed and buyers' needs and wants seem to have evolved, and marketers have done a phenomenal job of marketing this type of vehicle. As a matter of fact, they're so far gone now that many manufacturers, for example, like Ford, have discontinued their cars for the sake of building trucks and SUVs. They've become that popular. And as a result, even the performance, exotic, and luxury manufacturers like Mercedes, BMW, Lamborghini, Maserati, Jaguar, Bentley, they've all gotten in bed with the principle of building SUVs, which is ironic because reality is, what kind of Lamborghini Yaris owner is going to take that car off-roading? It's not going to happen. And largely, most of these vehicles are driven in dry highways in Southern California. All-wheel drive, heavy fuel consumption, heavy expense to purchase and buy and build and manufacture and repair. Why would you own a vehicle like that? If you want a Lamborghini, buy an Aventador. If you want a Jaguar, buy the F-Type. If you want a Porsche, why not just buy the 911? Sorry guys, my opinion, way too many SUVs on the market today, and it's a trend that definitely looks like it's not going back. So with all that said, I hope you guys enjoyed today's video. If you want to learn more and see my part 1 to the worst new automotive trends, click on the link over here. Or maybe you just want to learn more about the worst depreciating luxury cars, click on the link over here. You're going to love that video. I really hope to catch you guys on the next one. Catch you real soon. Bye-bye.